Let's talk about how Joe Shane just got himself another W. Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is your man R0B back at it again with another New York Giants video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the New York Giants' latest signing. That's right, the Giants signed a quarterback. We're going to dive right into that and what this could mean for the New York Giants going forward. Before we do that, do me a quick favor. Go ahead and smash that like button. It does help the videos get noticed. Smash that subscribe button. Turn on those bell notifications so that you never miss another upload. Let's go ahead and we're going to dive right into it. So yesterday evening, the New York Giants made a signing, bringing in veteran quarterback, 10-year veteran quarterback, Jameis Winston to the New York Football Giants. Gotta say, really excited, right? All in all, like, Jameis is a funny dude. Like, he is just a funny dude, but he brings a lot of positivity to the locker room. I would say he's a guy that gets the locker room bought in, a true locker room guy, coming out of Florida State. He's been in the league a while. Like I said, he's been in the league 10 years. He was a number 1 overall pick in 2015 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Was there for a while, then went to the New Orleans Saints. He was there, I think he was with New Orleans for 4 years. He signed with them in 2020. Then he re-signed with them in 2021, then signed a 2-year deal with them in 22. Went to New Orleans last year. He was released in 2024, went to the Browns in 2024. And now he's with the Giants. Gave him a 2-year, $8 million contract. There are a lot of incentives with the contract. Not really too sure what those incentives are. But last year he got some playing time last year for the Cleveland Browns. Threw for 2,100 yards, 13 touchdown passes, 12 interceptions, passer rating of 80.6. His completion percentage was 61.1. He had 83 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown. He had 296 passing attempts, and he had 181 completions. So he played about 504 snaps, 42.7% of the snaps. So all in all, man, it was a good signing. It really was a good signing for the New York Giants. Now, some people don't think so. Some people want the Aaron Rodgers, right? Some people want the Russell Wilson, right? And there have been reports by Albert Breer and Jeremy Fowler and Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, that the Giants, this signing doesn't take the Giants out of the so-called market of going ahead and bringing in a guy like Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson, so on and so forth. Here's my opinion, right, when it comes to the situation. I think the Giants know, and Jeremy Fowler kind of hinted at this today. I think the Giants, yes, they're still in on Aaron Rodgers, but not the way that they were. I think that they know that they're not a real designation that Rodgers would like to go to. And so they were getting impatient, and it's very, very clear per his reporting that the Steelers organization wants to try to make that happen. He was at the Steelers facility yesterday for like several hours, so he was there. The Steelers didn't end up going to a pro day yesterday for Michigan because, as far as like the higher ups, because they stayed back to meet with Rodgers. He met with everybody. He met with the coach, the GM, the owner, the assistant. He met with everybody. So I think it's clear that's probably going to be the landing spot for Rodgers. Now, what's interesting with all of this is the Russell Wilson stuff, because there was a tweet that came out a few days ago that Russell Wilson is basically informing teams that he'll play on a 1-year, $5 million deal. Now, if that were to be true, that's less than what Jameis Winston just got paid. Jameis just got 2 years, $8 million. I think he can go up to 16 with incentives. What those incentives are, we don't know yet. But, Russell Wilson would have been less than what Jameis Winston, was asking for. Russell was also asking for a 1-year deal. Now, I don't theoretically say that this means that they're out, but really don't think that they're in. I think that they're out by default on Rodgers, just for the simple fact that I think in Rodgers' mind they're out. I think the Steelers really want him, and he doesn't really want to come here. And why would you? Steelers are in a much better position right now with a more stable coach. They've got a roster that can compete, and you just really need, a missing piece. They just traded for DK Metcalf, so they're good. So that is the more attractive landing spot for Aaron Rodgers. When it comes to Russell Wilson, Paul Schwartz was saying something like, when the Giants met with Russ and they met with Winston, their feeling was that Winston was the better all-around locker room guy. I think it's clear that the Giants are trying to potentially maybe replace some of that positive locker room environment that they may have lost when they let go of guys like Xavier McKinney and Saquon Barkley. They're trying to replace that. And they're hoping that some of their young guys and also guys that they brought in, Javon Holland, who's been a captain and a very vocal leader for the Miami Dolphins, hoping that he takes a role, right? You got second-year guys like Tyler Nubin, right? Dexter Lawrence, that they're looking to continue or step up, in Nubin's case, to be a vocal leader. Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, who's going into year 4. So I think that they're looking to try to get this to change this culture and this mindset within inside the locker room. I think that this is a good signing for the Giants, because I think it tells us, at least tells me, that the Giants are really trying to go ahead and get their future quarterback in this year's draft. I think if they were really keen on bringing in Russell Wilson, that would have probably been the first signing. I just don't know if that's something that they're still going to explore. Now, could they bring in a Joe Flacco? They sure could. Jeremy Fowler also saying that they could bring in a Russell Wilson, they could bring in Russell Wilson, they could bring in Jameis Winston and still draft a quarterback, right? I also think that says a lot about where they view Tommy DeVito, right? They've had Tommy there for a couple of years. They've re-signed him. I'm assuming at that point, if they were to bring in another veteran guy and draft a guy, that puts, Tommy DeVito expendable, and rightfully so. Tommy DeVito, love the guy. He's an Italian paisan, but he's not very good, and they should definitely move on. Ultimately, I think that it means by this Jameis Winston, I don't think Russ is coming here. I believe that he's probably going to go to the Cleveland Browns. They're so very much interested in him, as well as also interested as far as their backup, if they don't land Russ, is Carson Wentz. And I truly believe some of the reporting that's coming out, you hear a lot of the national media guys that are covering the draft, guys like Daniel Jeremiah and Adam Schefter and stuff like that, are saying that from everything that they're hearing, that the Browns are not going to go quarterback at the second pick overall. They would like to get Cam Ward. That may not be the case, and they're probably going to take the BPA if Cam Ward goes once to the Tennessee Titans, or just in general, they're going to go ahead and they'll pass and take the BPA, or maybe potentially trade back and acquire more picks and go from there. But this is a good locker room fit. This is a guy that's going to be able to go ahead and mentor a young quarterback that's going to be coming in, former first-round pick, so he knows what it means to get taken high in the draft. He can attest to the pressure that it comes with, but ultimately he's also a guy that I think that if you decided to bench him a few weeks into the season for a younger player, he's not going to give you any pushback. He's going to welcome it with open arms. He's going to still be there, still support. He's going to defend it, right? He's going to, be there to mentor that guy. And maybe they didn't get that vibe from a Russell Wilson. Maybe they didn't get that vibe, when it comes to Rodgers, right? And so ultimately, I think this is a great job by Joe Shane and Brian Daboll and the New York Giants, bringing in Jameis Winston to go ahead and be a veteran quarterback on this roster. He can definitely play some games if need be, but I think it's good. I think it's a good signing, and I think it's a positive thing, like I said, for leading up to the draft, for things to come. I think they are focusing on getting their franchise quarterback in this draft. And I believe when it's all said and done, I believe that Shador Sanders is going to be the future quarterback of the New York Football Giants. I believe that. There may not be a lot of people that are thrilled about that or excited about that, but go and you watch the film, you watch the breakdown, and we're gonna have videos of this coming up here in the coming weeks, but leading up to the draft. But when you go and you watch the film, you listen to him in his interviews, the kid's got it. And a lot of people, the knock on him is that they don't like, how he was brought up. They felt like he was handed everything, and that is far from the truth. He worked for everything. He worked hard. If anything, how hard he works, he shouldn't have to work this hard, right? With everything that he's got, he shouldn't have to work as hard as he does, but he does, right? And so I got a lot of respect for Shador, and I think that he's going to be a good quarterback in this league, and he's going to prove some people wrong, hopefully, right? But let me know down in the comment section how you guys feel about the Jameis Winston signing. Are you guys happy? Are you guys not? Are you still looking for them to bring in another guy? Or are you happy with this and just saying, I'm happy with Jameis, go get me my quarterback in the draft? Let me know down in the comment section. If you guys are new to the channel, go ahead and make sure to tap that thumbs up button. It does help the videos get noticed, helps with the algorithm. And also go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Turn on those bell notifications so that you never miss another upload. I'm our Zero B, signing off. Go Giants.